I'm glad you said that because that's exactly where I'm going. Both Jamar Chase and Tee Higgins absent as of now for the Bengals voluntary OTAs. They want the bag, too. I mean, they're looking at all this money being passed around. They're like, give me some. So Jamar Chase is a completely different conversation as far as I'm concerned. We understand he's likely in that Justin Jefferson territory. Translation, he's going to get what the hell he wants. They're going to give that guy a blank check and keep him in Cincy. But I do believe because of that, because of the money you're allocating already to Joe Burrow, because Jamar Chase is about to get that blank check, I just think Tee Higgins is going to be up out of there. So, with that being said, George, I look at this Nico Collins deal, and it feels very Tee Higgins range to me.
Yeah.
It's a guy that we're not sure. Nico has proven he can be a one. Tee Higgins we're projecting because you have a Jamar Chase there. But I think it's fair to say most of us believe he can be a number one wide receiver in this league. And for damn sure as it pertains to the Patriots, Lord knows, him just stepping foot on the campus, walking into the facilities, using the restroom, having a snack, makes him number one in that wide receiver room.
Yes, I agree.
Do you see a world where the Patriots figure this out and they acquire Tee Higgins via maybe they trade for him? I'm kind of using an NBA term. Is it a sign and trade where you trade for him and then you work out an extension with the guy? Or do you maybe wait this out and let it play out? We see the Bengals franchising him. That we know that's not going to last forever. Eventually, he's going to hit the market. Do you wait till then so you don't have to trade and then you just got to be the highest bidder? How do you sort of handle this? Do you see Tee Higgins coming to New England? Because I do. I'm just not sure of the path how it's going to happen. I thought on draft night they should have made some moves. It didn't happen, but it's not too late.
They drafted well, and you have top 3 picks in the next few drafts. You go out and you trade for Tee Higgins because the Cincinnati Bengals put him on the franchise tag.
Yes.
He's not signing it, and that is saying, we want you to play on this. We'll give you this. We're not giving you long-term money.
That's right.
We need to feed Jamar Chase. We got Joe Burrow off the books before we get to you. But if you're the Patriots, you can't wait around because there are probably teams that thought they could wait around to get A.J. Brown from the Titans. And then the Eagles went out, traded for him. They
were aggressive.
Signed him to an extension, and signed him to an extension with new money again. You have to be aggressive, especially with the cap space you have, $46 million. You can trade for him. And if it's a second-round pick, if it's a couple twos or a 2 and a 3, he's worth it if he comes in. And the way he fills out this wide receiver room, because you have a lot of talent, guys that are 6 foot plus, around 205 pounds. Tee Higgins comes in 6'4",
big cat,
220 pounds.
Yep.
That's 75 catches,
yep.
1,100 yards, 6 to 7 touchdowns, an elite outside dynamic playmaker with a great catch radius and a deep ball threat as well. Exactly, that's proved it. You've seen how he's played without Jamar Chase in the lineup, and he has stepped up his game and picked up the slack without a wide receiver 1 there, and he's been a great wide receiver 2.
Didn't have Joe Burrow the whole time either.
Exactly, but look how this wide receiver room is filled out for the Patriots now. If you get a Tee Higgins in, that's your wide receiver 1, clear cut, fine.
Sure.
Your wide receiver 2 is a Jalen Polk, Kendrick Bourne. That's fine. That's great. That's your wide receiver 3, Kendrick Bourne, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Demario Douglas. You have KJ Osborne, who's on a 1-year deal. Get out of here.
You got a unit there now.
It changes the entire look of your offense if you go out and get Tee Higgins. Right. You still need a tackle.
Right.
But that's a wide receiver 1 that is clearly a wide receiver 1 here in New England. It's not a bunch of wide receiver 2s. It's a wide receiver 1 with a bunch of wide receiver 2s. And I am fine with that. Yeah. Look at the Green Bay Packers and their model for success on an offense. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed. All second-round picks, some first-round picks, but all deep in the draft. Yeah. All wide receiver 2s. Build it out and give your quarterback so many options to build chemistry with, and it works. You have a deep wide receiver room there.
I think that's a great point. If you're giving up, hypothetically speaking, for the sake of combo, you said a second-round pick, right? I mean, listen, just hearing you talk about the miss rate with wide receivers makes me think, yes, you do still need a tackle. However, if you keep your first-round pick, I mean, the miss rate on offensive linemen in the draft are significantly lower than it is wide receiver. Wide receiver is just, you're rolling the dice. You just are. You could have an all-world guy or you could have a guy who stinks. And Lord knows we know that around these parts with all the wide receivers that was missed on in the Belichick era. So, listen, like second rounder, give Tee Higgins a bag. You have a bona fide guy who we believe could be very special, but at Worst, he's going to be a solid number one on your team with a group, with a gang of young wide receivers there. And then you draft your tackle, which is a much safer proposition, drafting a tackle in the first round than a wide receiver. Yeah. I don't hate it.
And you look at what the numbers are. Where it gets me, and this is where it could be interesting, think about 3 guys that signed extensions or new contracts this year.
Okay.
Calvin Ridley to the Titans.
Oh, my gosh.
$50 million guaranteed.
Yeah, he got paid.
Devontae Smith with the Eagles.
Right.
$51 million guaranteed.
Right.
Nico Collins now with the Texans. 52. Tee Higgins is going to get 54 to 55 million from
for sure.
Now, will the Patriots step up? Because they were outbid by the Titans, so they say. Right? They came in and they said, we were trying to pay as much as we can, taking into account that we have a higher tax rate than Tennessee that doesn't have one.
Right.
And then Robert Kraft backdoored in. Maybe the quarterback situation had an effect. But if you are the Patriots, you can go out and you could trade for someone, say you're here, here's the money.
Right.
And the reason they didn't sign DeAndre Hopkins last year, because Matt Gross said we didn't want, if we give him more money, to piss off other guys in the room, like a Devontae Parker. All right, Devontae Parker's gone and he stinks. Who cares? And who cares if you piss off Juju Smith-Schuster? Because he's not healthy and he sucks.
He's pissing us off.
You bring in Tee Higgins, who is an alpha and a wide receiver one. You trade him and go, here's $55 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
You are our future receiver with our future quarterback. And if this works out for a guy that's 25 years old right now, you could get a second contract. Because if you give him 3 or 4 years, when he's 28, you sign him to another short deal. And then you have him till he's 31, 32, his years in the league. That works perfect. And you have him mature with Drake Maye through the years. You get him that number one wide receiver, and you have the cap space for it. Builds up over the years, too. You give him $55 million guaranteed. It works. The market has set that number, but you could trade for him, get him in, and you give him that money.
I love the line that you said, he matures with Drake Maye over the years. I think that's true. Big picture, which you often do think about. You're a big picture guy. But I am a short-term thinker too. And I look at this. You want to develop Drake Maye. You want to put him in the best position and be successful. You go get him a Tee Higgins right now. Because what do young quarterbacks do? Lock in on guys. What do they struggle with? Going through progressions. I mean, Drake Maye just dealt with this in college.
And his weakness is his progressions on the field.
That's my point. He dealt with – I watched him so much at UNC it would make your head spin. And he didn't have his best wide receiver for most of the season anyways. So this guy couldn't – he didn't have a go-to guy. He had to, like, someone get open for me, please. And, oh, by the way, his offensive line sucked. So – I look at this as like, you want to help your young quarterback have everything he needs to be successful. Yes, I want them to grow and be happily ever after, forever and ever, amen, over the years. But in the short term, help his ass out. Get him someone who's a bona fide one that, hey, man, play breaks down. You have the capability, Drake Maye, of buying time with your legs. Keep your eyes downfield and find Tee Higgins.
Yeah.
I mean, that's helping him become who we need him to become.
It would just take this offense to an actual threshold of respectability with talent.
Yes.
That's the saddest thing I can say, but that's the standard
No, it's not sad, George. We fell asleep watching this offense. All of us did it. It was nap time city during Patriots games when they had the ball on offense.
And think about the wide receiver room right now. Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Demario Douglas, KJ Osborne, Kendrick Bourne, Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm falling asleep saying
I mean, right.
But if you get Tee Higgins, it opens up so much more with this offense. It helps your rookie quarterback. And it's all about taking advantage. Look at what teams around the league have done, right? With the Minnesota Vikings, letting Kirk Cousins walk, you get J.J. McCarthy, now you can sign Justin Jefferson. What the Chicago Bears did, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, because you have Caleb Williams and your tackles on rookie scale. The Patriots need to follow suit and do the same thing.